I'm a big hot chocolate guy, but I'll be honest, I drink that year round pretty much. But I'll go with that.
My daughter's really excited about hot chocolate too.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stratus Sphere podcast. My name is Owen Phillips, and the marketing director for Stratus Services, joined today by Joshua, our owner, and Joel, managing director, new title of cybersecurity and CMMC. It's been a minute since we've all gotten together, but you guys want to give some updates of what's been going on?
Yeah, I think we're trying to squeeze in this recording in between meetings since the November 10th deadline. We've really just been hammered with a lot of requests to help people get set up and do it in a short time frame, and we've been hustling to do so. And before we go head off to our other meeting, we want to jump on here, kind of tell you guys what we're seeing. Joel also had kind of some cool ideas that we had talked about. Thought we might share them with you guys, but really, the main thing is November 10th going forward. If you're bidding on a DoD contract, you have to have CMMC level 1. Not hard to do, but you got to do it. And then, since our three is there's not a lot of C3PAOs out there. It's hard to get an assessment scheduled. So for this year and this year only, really, you're allowed to do a self-assessed level 2. You still have to meet all of those requirements. And I think there's a lot of confusion on what it actually means to meet those requirements still. But that's where we come in. But at any rate, I guess we're just kind of wanting to connect and kind of talk about that real quick.
Yeah, Joel, I've been on the sidelines of this, meaning I kind of am just the third body in the three-body problem of clients reaching out and asking about self-assessment. I think a lot of people are getting confused about what it means to self-assess level 1 versus self-assess level 2. Do you have like a quick synopsis of the difference there?
Yeah, level 1 is pretty easy, 15 controls, physical security. I won't go through all of them, but it's like a handful of technical controls, your physical security, a couple administrative things. Level 2 is your full 110, the big scary thing. You're potentially at some point going to need a third-party assessment. So real different, level 1 is like a very small, short duration engagement. Level 2 is the big, long, difficult one.
I think maybe one of the misconceptions I'm seeing is people are assessing themselves of level 2 with a couple of caveats. One, hey, we're self-assessing. We have this environment that will theoretically be set up, and we're not really going to do anything in it until we actually need to, but we're going to mark ourselves that we've completed it as we're actively trying to complete it. That's not a self-assess level 2. You should be done, ready to pass a third-party assessment. And I mean, as part of passing an assessment, you have to be showing you've been doing these things. You have to have a history of completing them. So your environment needs to be done if you're doing this. And then the other thing I'm seeing is maybe a lack of understanding on some of the FedRAMP requirements for level 2. So they're storing things in their mind a secure environment, but they're not actually meeting those level 2 specifications. So just maybe a couple of pitfalls to watch out for. If you're doing it, do it. If you're not doing it, don't say that you are.
Yeah. Two specific things that I've seen that have bothered me on the whole not understanding FedRAMP requirements that have come up recently with local providers or local folks we've talked to. One, a company marketing their cloud backup solution as a specific advantage for CMMC, specifically pitching it to their CMMC clients, that the cloud backup solution in question is not FedRAMP, so you cannot put your CUI there. The marketing material was hyping up the SOC 2 Type 2 report they have on it, which is a different thing and completely irrelevant in the CMMC world. So just made no sense, kind of disingenuous to market it to their clients like that. And then also managed service providers who have their own hosting platforms can get really hairy when it comes to FedRAMP requirements. If you have a MSP who's hosting a virtualized environment for you, there's a very good chance they've made themselves a cloud service provider needing FedRAMP and are probably unequipped to ever do so. So that was two real world things we've run into recently kind of on that topic.
And that's that component where if somebody is your CSP / ESP, there's another, there are two. We just had a blog post put up about this that differentiates the two. But when they become that person and they're storing data for you, they then fall under scope of needing to also be compliant, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, like, and Joel, maybe dig into this. There's a difference between a CSP and an ESP.
Yeah. So an ESP, like we function for our clients as an ESP. We're an external service provider. We're a different organization with a different environment that reaches into theirs and provides services. There's certain requirements around that. That's why we're pursuing our own level 2. That's not strictly necessary, but we meet all the requirements for that. If, however, we were a cloud service provider, we would need FedRAMP, which is that crazy expensive, crazy difficult security standard. The differentiator is that we don't host our clients' data in a cloud services model, which there's a very kind of specific definition for in NIST speak, but it's if you're providing access to like a pooled source, a pool of resources that are rapidly configurable and releasable and shareable, like multi-tenancy, that's a cloud service provider. So if someone has a data center and they're spinning up VMs for you and they have other clients in here and it's all mixed together on their hardware, that's where you can become like a cloud service provider.
So I'll dig one more. If I am someone looking for these services and I'm going out and finding an MSP or some kind of consultant agency to take care of this for me, what's the question that I ask to ensure that the person doing this work for me is in the right scope?
I would ask them, if you need CMMC level 2 and you're looking for a managed service provider, I would not talk to one who hasn't at least had clients successfully pass under their model before.
Yeah, I think that's a great, like, hey, have you have a client passed this configuration before?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an easy way to get that question answered. And if not, then are you FedRAMP? And if they are, then you're probably okay. But if they're not and they haven't,
yeah, we're definitely far enough down the way now that you should at least have maybe one client under your belt, since there's only a year left to get people in that level 2 bracket. So
yeah.
On that front, we should take 1 minute of celebration because it will be public by the time this gets posted. We had another level 2 success story. So I don't know if anybody wants to touch on the specifics there.
Ooh, the specifics. So it was a really good, successful engagement. Obviously, it's a client, so I don't want to go like too into detail about their security and what they're doing. But it was not, I would say it wasn't the most complicated, wasn't like the largest scope or most complex scope we'd done. But still, any of these are like a pretty difficult long-term project that involves like a lot of different people, us, the client. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to wrap it up with a successful pass. It was a 110 out of 110, no conditional, certificate of status, no POAMs, just completely met. So super proud of that.
And it also just feels good anytime it's a hometown Alaska company getting it done, meaning us getting it done for them, and then Alaska company taking, the initiative to go to the next level. So we will have a press release out about it. It's pretty exciting, but yeah, let's not ruin it on the podcast, all the secrets here. So watch the socials, watch the channels.
And I think I'm trying to keep us moving along so we don't miss our next meeting. But I think Joel had a really cool idea, essentially with this change where you can do a level 2 self-certification this year. We've run to a lot of clients that are like, we want to set up an environment, but an assessment's really expensive. And we don't even know how much work we're going to get this year. So is it even, or subsequent years going forward, is it even worth going down that road? And Joel, I don't want to steal your idea, but it's some interesting thought that you had.
Yeah, so it's actually an idea I sort of stole from a client or stumbled upon through them. But essentially, yeah, since we have this 1 year period where you're really unlikely to see that third-party certification requirement, you have the ability to self-assess. So if there's a way that you can get in a compliant environment set up for a reasonable price, because it's really that third-party certification is the kind of sticker shock moment for a lot of people because it's so expensive. But there's cheaper ways. Just getting compliant doesn't necessarily have to be the most expensive, particularly if you're just doing it as a way to see how much work comes out of it. There's fairly cheap ways to do it that you can scale later. So yeah, just recommending to people, like if you're not sure, but you want to see if you can get this DoD work, there's probably a way that you can get your level 2 self-assessment in a very rigorous, legitimate way, not like pencil whipping it, actually being compliant without having to pay that huge fee for the assessment. And then obviously you only have like the next 10, 11 months or whatever it is now to do that, but it lets you kind of scope out the market and the environment and see what like the DoD contracting landscape is going to look like going forward.
Anyway, I I think those are like the main points I wanted to get across to folks and kind of things that we've seen. But yeah.
Sounds great to me. I think we hit it. I think we did our rapid fire CMMC wintertime spree there. What holiday beverage or food are y'all very excited for in the week to come? Like, what is the thing that when it hits the table, you're just like, oh my gosh, can't wait?
I'm a big hot chocolate guy, but I'll be honest, I drink that year round pretty much. But I'll go with that.
Okay.
My daughter's really excited about hot chocolate too.
Yeah. What are you having, Josh? What's on the table this year?
I'm gonna do something that I also do year round and pour myself a nice glass of scotch.
Okay, beautiful.
What about you, Owen? Your turn.
Me?
Mhm.
Oh goodness. So I went on a baking spree and I made 6 different kind of cookies, and none of them really hit the spot. So I'm looking forward to some kind of chocolate cake. Something. I'm going to my auntie's house for Christmas this year, and I'm in charge of dessert. So I haven't nailed it down, but I like chocolate and orange, or like chocolate and cherry. Some kind of fruit needs to be in there. That's where I'm at. Let you guys know when I have it together.
Yeah, can't help you. I don't like chocolate.
I know. I'm sorry, Josh. 2 chocolate answers, and you're like, I just want a scotch. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and give us a little sign off on our short spurt of CMMC news for the winter time. This is Joel, Joshua, and I for the Stratus Sphere podcast, and we will see you in the new year. Have a good holiday, everybody.